friends, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm taking you along as I'm going to decorate my kitchen for summer. I want to add some summer touches. I had picked up and thrifted some new items. I picked up some stuff at HomeSense and thrifted some items, so I want to share that with you as I'm decorating. So come along. So I have taken everything off the counters so I can start with a fresh, clean slate, except my mixer, just because that's so heavy and it always goes into that spot. And then I'm going to be also dusting the shelves as I'm decorating them and wiping down the counters. But first I'm going to light a candle so I can have a nice fresh limoncello scent, and this candle is from Bath and Body Works. I'm starting my decorating over on my coffee nook. I have some floating shelves here that I'm going to give a little bit of a wipe down. I'm using method wood polish to polish them up, and just a microfiber cloth. The color of these shelves matches my island, and I love the way they look over here. The only thing is I wish they were a smidgen bigger, but nevertheless I love the way they look. So I'm going to add this vintage scale. I had painted it because it was in the color that I loved, and it was over in my dining room before, if you've been on my channel for a little while. And I added some lemons. Now I had thrifted most of my lemons. I hit a jackpot at Value Village last year, and they were selling them, bags of them, for like $3. So I've got lemon slices, I got lemon sliced candles, I also have limes and lime slices. And then on the opposite side I'm adding just a piece of wood just to give it a little bit of height, and this little planter in a concrete little plant in a concrete planter, and that came from Dollarama. And I love how simply the top shelf looks. And now for the middle one, I'm going to be adding this olive wood. Now mine came from Croatia when we were vacationing several years back. Back then, HomeSense did not have any. Now you can find a ton at HomeSense. And then in front of it, I'm going to add my little vintage watering can that I had thrifted as well. And I just added some boxwood greenery from Dollarama in it. And I love mixing different textures, different metals. I just think it looks really good. It softens up the place. So I love using all sorts of different materials. And then for the other side, I am adding this DIY candle holder. And on top of it, I'm going to add all of my cheese cutting little tools. And inside this another watering can, and this one as well came from Dollarama for $2.50. And I think the wood and the ceramic, it just looks so good together. If you're stopping by my channel for the very first time, my name is Sonja, and I share tons of decorating, cleaning, and organizing ideas over here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and a notification bell, because we would love to have you be part of our YouTube family. And then to add a pop of color, I am adding some lemons in a little cloche. And then for more texture, I am adding this concrete looking bird. I did DIY that. That is a Dollar Tree bird that I painted. And then for the bottom, I needed to give it a little bit of wipe down. I don't know about you guys, but there's coffee stains all over this all the time. I think we are pigs here when it comes to making coffee. So I'm adding a little bit of black into the corner just to go along with the scale and kind of tie everything together. And then I'm gonna pop a bit of greenery with yellow. Now this came from a website which I will link down below. I can't remember the name of it now, but they sell tons of tiered tray decorating supplies and decor, so make sure you check it out. And then in front of it I am adding this little wood riser. My friend cut that out for me, and then I just stained it with some spoons, and then I thought it would be fun to add this little bee's nest that I DIY'd over on my DIY channel for extra softness. So this completes my little coffee nook, and I absolutely love it. I think it adds enough warmth as well as pops of color that I was looking for. Moving on to the other area, back when I was decorating for spring, I have added a little basket in a corner just to keep Alexa in and anything that's kind of floating around the kitchen, like AirPods, iPad, chargers, and things like that. And it just kind of keeps it all together in a nice pretty basket. And I think basket looks really good in this corner without it looking too cluttered, and keeping everything in, it prevents it from getting too messy. And I keep my stand-up mixer here because it is so heavy, and I have actually found myself using it a lot more now that it's out on my counter versus in a cupboard where I have to bend down to get it or bring it down upstairs from the basement. So it's going to stay here. I did want to get some sort of a springy linen to put in it, like a kitchen cloth to put in it, but I haven't been able to find one, and I'm not loving the ones from dollar stores. I had thrifted this painting with a gold frame. Now I have been debating to replace the image that's in there, the painting. I do like this one. I know my husband had a mini meltdown saying that he doesn't like it at all, but I think it looks really pretty in here. What do you guys think? Should I just keep it in here, or do you think it's ridiculous and should not have no part in the kitchen? And then in front of it, I had thrifted this a while ago, and I love it. Is the exact color that I've been looking for of a fruit bowl, and I think it looks perfect in my kitchen. I was so happy when I found it, and I don't know, I paid like $2 or something for it. It was a great find. So in it, I'm going to add some lemons and some limes for that pop of color. And to add a bit more thrifted items, I have this little pot. This one has been DIY'd several times, and now it has ended up with black and white spray paint, and I think it looks the best right now. I might change my mind down the road and paint it a different color. And I found these little blueberries at Dollar Tree that I thought were so pretty and nice and tiny, kind of what I was looking for to put right in there. Was thinking about putting olive branches in there, but I only found two, and one of them was missing half of the stuff, so I was a little bit disappointed. But then when I came across these little blueberries, I thought they would look perfect. Now the opposite end of the stove, I am going to add 2 cutting boards. They are both thrifted. Actually, my friend found them for me while she was out thrifting, both of them, and got them for me. Thank you, Sandra. So she knew what I was looking for. We always tell each other what we're looking for in case if one is out and finds something when the other one isn't. She's out a lot more than I am, so she's always finding little treasures for me. But I wanted to add some softness to this counter, and I thought the cutting boards were a perfect thing to add. I almost forgot to wipe down my counter before I started decorating, and there was stuff on it. There's always stuff on it when you cook, and everybody's cooking in my house. Everybody's using the kitchen, I feel like, all the time. I have very small pockets of time to decorate because there's somebody eating, cooking, or doing something in the kitchen all day long. So I'm using this longer one, and then over top of it I'm going to add this one. This one's a little bit taller, and it fits perfectly because it covers the two outlets without covering the light switch for the valance lighting. So I think this is perfect right here, but I still wanted to add a little bit more to it. So I have this little wooden board that was holding some of my cheese cutting tools, and I just flipped it around and using it as a tray. And on top of it I'm going to add this pot. This is another thrifted item that I DIY'd several years back, and inside of it I'm going to add some of this fake rosemary bush from Dollarama. I love these. I think they're so vibrant and they almost look real, but it adds so much color to a space. And then of course, wouldn't be me if I didn't add a little bit of Disney in, and I have these salt and pepper shakers that I absolutely love. We use them all the time and they look perfect right here. And then in the corner I had bought this thing at Bouclair a while back. It wasn't cheap, as you can see. It was $40, but it doesn't really work because if I put some, it tips. If I put something a little bit heavier on one side, it completely tips over. So I decided, but I love the color of it, and I specifically bought it for this kitchen. So I decided to use it with a cloche cover that I had from a different cloche, and then I just added some lemon in it, and this seemed to work, and I kind of like the way it looks in this corner. Let me know what you guys think. Now moving on to my island, I do love putting some decor on it as much as my husband wants to keep it as is. I just find that ends up looking a little too cold, so I always like to add a little bit of decor. And so many of you have asked me before, so I'm answering it before I get questions in the comments. The size of it is 5x9. And I have cabinetry on both sides of the island. So I had picked up this tray it's a handmade tray from Home Sense for $29.99, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And again, I love that wood color, that wood tone. So I thought it would be perfect, and then it adds a little bit of black to it, which, you know, all of my plumbing fixtures are black, as well as my kitchen handle, so I like to incorporate that color in as well. So I kind of decorated this tray before I recorded this video because I always struggle not knowing what to put on here. So I kind of had a couple of dry runs before I actually decided what to put on. So I am putting this vase back on here. I do want to get a new one. This one was $3 that I had thrifted and then made over. I like to leave some prices on so that way I can remember what things cost when I am actually sharing it with you. And then in it I put some of this boxwood looking picks from Dollarama, and then I'm going to mix in some white flowers from Michael's. These were the cheaper ones, and then I ended up getting them for like, I think 75% off too. And I think mixing them together looks really good. For spring I only had these flowers on its own, and I was finding as I was looking at my island that it was missing something, and I think adding the greenery, the boxwood greenery, added the thickness to the arrangement that I was looking for. So back to the vase, I would like to get a more of a pottery type of vase for here, but I just haven't been able to find one thrifted. And let me tell you, I went to HomeSense and I cannot find one for under $50, which I thought it was too expensive for me anyways. So once I find, hopefully soon enough, I'll find one at a thrift store. I did find several ones just this past weekend, but they were all too small. I did pick up a couple of them, which you will see in my next video, decorate with me video, but for this one I would like something larger, maybe even larger than this one. So to add extra texture here, I am adding my little I can't remember what this thing is called, for spices, and that's concrete. And then for a little bit of height, I am adding my book stack, and on top of it I am adding this little ceramic bowl that has a nice little yellow rim and some blue flowers, which I thought ties in the blueberries really well. And it's a candle, and I've had this for several years, and it came from HomeSense. And then I'm adding my little canisters for herbs that I thrifted several years ago here, and I absolutely love the way this look. And then I thought, why not add a little bit of lemon and lime slices here just for a little bit of more color. So I am so pleased with the way this turned out. This is one thing that I've struggled with in decorating this kitchen, and as you know, this kitchen is fairly new for me, first time decorating it for summer, so I'm still figuring out what works, what doesn't, what I like and what I don't like. Now, speaking of this tray, I did struggle a little bit on figuring out where to position it. I've seen some people on Instagram keeping it right at the beginning, like right at the front of it, some pushing more back. I think back works better for me because of the eating, so that way I don't have to constantly move it. But let me know what you guys like. Do you like it more at the front or more towards the back? I would love to know. Now, moving on to the other side of the island, I am putting another one of these risers, and you can see it has some soap stains on it already. And then I had these amber bottles that I purchased a while back, and I have hand soap and dish soap in there. I need to print out the labels and add them to it. I just haven't gotten around to it because I want to buy some waterproof stickers for it, because I know within no time it's going to come off and get ruined if it's not the right type of a sticker. Then I gave my sink a little bit of just a rinse down. I did clean it beforehand, but I have been rinsing my Norwex rag that I was wiping the counters down, so there was a little bit of crummies on there. And then I just tossed my little dishwashing rag over to the laundry basket that I have by the stairs, and I am adding a brand new clean one in here. So some of you made comments about my dish rags. I do wash them, and some of them are just looking a little bit used, so I do have some new ones, so I thought I'd put those on for those of you that don't like looking at my raggedy rags. And then over here at this empty wall, I had finally found a picture or a sign that I wanted to put up. Tailored Canvases had kindly sent this to me, and I had picked out the writing, the font, the style, the color, the size, everything about it, and I love it because I think it's such a good saying in there. So much ingredients, nothing to eat, which I find if you have teenagers, my kids are now older than teenagers, but if you have teenagers, that's so many times that is the case. Many ingredients, nothing to eat. Sometimes I even find that for myself. So I think this sign completes my kitchen decorate with me. And let me tell you guys, I think out of all the seasons that I have decorated, this has to be the most favorite one so far that I have done. I absolutely love how everything looks. I could not be more pleased. I think it has enough softness, color, punch of color, and not too cluttered. I would love to know what you guys think, which pieces you liked the most. Did you like the decorating as much as I did? I would love it to know all down in the comments, or just let me know that you watched it. Let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and make sure your notifications on so you get notified when I post new videos. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you all so much for watching.